Game week 3 in the Premier League is almost here. I'm Adam Zdroik talking lineups, going over some injuries, going over some maybe a couple of suspensions in the Premier League. Check out RotoWire Soccer. We got an article up for Bundesliga team news and lineups. It's kind of the same thing as this video, but it's in written form here. It's in an article. Check that out, written by our guy Ian here. So that's up on the site. Very accessible there. We're going over Premier League, and let's take a look here. I'm going to be using the cheat sheet, the FPL cheat sheet, rotowire.com/soccer trial, 48-hour trial. You can check this cheat sheet out, see what it's all about. As you can see, we also have an MLS one. We got a bunch of cheat sheets at DraftKings, at FanDuel. I'll be using the FPL one. FPL one has all 20 teams, all 20 matches. I'm saying that wrong. All 20 teams, all 10 matches. There we go. It has the odds report. I'll be just going over these lineups here and injuries. Has implied goal totals. Look at these implied goal totals for these four teams. It's going to be, everyone has Erling Haaland on their team, but he will be captain plenty. But I think you can captain some other guys as well. You can see from the implied goal totals, you got four teams above 2.25. Three of them above 2.35. So there's some heavy favorites here. And Manchester City, the biggest favorite, despite playing away from home. So that's pretty interesting. All this on one page. Look at this. You can fit all these odds on one page for all 20 teams here. Goal scoring odds. Haaland is at minus 275 to score. I can't remember the max he got to at times in league play. It may have been minus 400. Maybe this is like a minus 400 when Manchester City are home against Sheffield United kind of thing. Here are the free kick tracker. 2 weeks of matches for most teams. Burnley and Luton Town did not have 2 matches, but got player stats per 90. Again, this is all sortable, all filterable. So you can sort by teams, you can sort by position, whatever you want to do. And then you got conceded stats as well. I usually like looking at corner numbers for all my corner bets, but look at that. West Ham have allowed the most corners in the league here on average. Not too surprising. They're not a team that likes to play with possession. But okay, let's do it. Game week 3 in the Premier League. Chelsea are at home against Luton Town. That is a Friday matchup. Chelsea, are they the most difficult team to talk about in the league right now? I thought Pochettino was going to go back to, 4 defenders, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1 or something against West Ham. He didn't decide to do that. Lost 3-1. I wouldn't say they played particularly bad, but they did allow some pretty poor goals. Because of that, I'm just going to stick with the 3-4-2-1, 3-4-3, whatever you want to call it here for Chelsea. At some point, I think Poch is going to go back to the 4-2-3-1. It's going to happen, maybe 4-3-3. We'll see. Because throughout the entire preseason and what Pochettino used last season at PSG, he's playing with 4 in the back. And then all of a sudden, for the first 2 matches, he's gone to 3 center backs, which, okay, I guess because they got Disasi and now that's what he wants to do. But it's pretty clear, these guys need to work on their communication. They need to do a few things because they haven't have a ton of game time with this 3 in the back. And I'm just keeping it here. Disasi, Colwell, Thiago Silva on the back line. Malo Gusto started on the right side there. I got Enzo Fernandez and Caicedo in the midfield. Again, we could see Gallagher. It is what it is here. I don't think Lavia is going to be entering the starting 11, but maybe we could see a 4-3-3 kind of a thing where Gusto's out and then we have Caicedo, Fernandez, and Lavia, or maybe Gallagher's in there instead of Lavia kind of thing. But without Chukwuemeka, putting Mudryk in the starting 11, and then you still got Sterling, and then you still got Nico Jackson there. Otherwise, there's not a ton else. Nani Madeka, without Nkuku, they don't really have a ton of attacking options. I don't know how much they're counting on getting Michael Elise, but he's not there. So they're actually kind of thin up front. Fortunately for them, they don't got to worry about European play. As for Luton Town, I don't believe I'm making any changes here from their opener. I was kind of surprised that Elfie Dowdy did not start the opener, but they added Giles, they added Kabore, and looks like those guys are going to be playing on the wing for them in this 3-5-2 formation. I don't think there's a real reason to change that up. This is the squad. A lot of new guys in here. Nakamba and Chong in the midfield. And then, as I said, you got the wingers as well. So no changes there. Of course, Kaminsky in goal. He is their new goalkeeper. I did mention Robert Sanchez. Officially got his number changed. Now that Kepa's on Real Madrid, Roberto Sanchez, number one, officially number one for Chelsea. So from being benched at Brighton to being Chelsea's number one, that is quite the interesting career move or interesting trajectory for Sanchez there at Chelsea. But Bournemouth, home against Tottenham, these are now all the Saturday matches. I don't see no changes here. I know David Brooks went out for Semenyo in that second match. Semenyo got that opening goal, and he looked pretty active in their match against Liverpool. So I think Semenyo is going to get another start. I don't think that, this is a pretty set squad here. Maybe once Lewis Cook gets healthy, maybe he's going to start stealing time from Rothwell kind of a thing. But with Adam Smith still dealing with an injury, Dango's still out, Tyler Adams is going to be out for a few weeks. New addition. They signed him end of last week. Tavernier's still out. I don't think Alex Scott will probably be getting too many minutes for him this season. So I think this is kind of their squad. They got a lot of their bench guys who may be getting starts. Those guys are all out. So I think once we get into it, we may see Tyler Adams moving starting 11 for someone like Rothwell. I'm not sure if they'd actually go into changing the formation to a 4-3-3 kind of thing. But I mean, Billing has played forward at times. So it would be interesting to see how Andoni takes this lineup. But for now, I think this is a pretty set lineup. We may see David Brooks back in there kind of thing, but I don't think there's too many more changes you can make with them. Tottenham, I guess the biggest move would be at right back with Porro and Emerson. I'm sticking with Porro because, they did get the 2-0 win in this past match. So, why not just kind of run it back kind of thing. Unfortunately, James Madison, his injury does not look serious, but it looks like he probably will not be ready to start, or he shouldn't start. I guess I'll say he should not start in this match based off of the issue. I've read a couple different things of what the actual injury is. Let me click into the profile here. MCL strain. So he had a boot on. He had a boot on after the match, but they're labeling this as an MCL strain in his knee. So I don't know, a couple different things. Maybe it's two minor things, something like that. But either way, we could see Lo Celso in the starting 11 because I don't know what else they do. They could do a 4-3-3, but I mean, I think that'd kind of just change up what they've actually been doing a little bit because James Madison has been playing pretty far forward. If they go 4-3-3, what it would be Sarr, Basuma, and Skip in the midfield kind of thing, and then with those same three attackers. So maybe Lo Celso doesn't start. I think that you just keep the 4-2-3-1, and then you got this playmaker, this creator in the middle kind of a thing. I don't know if they'd actually go, Kulishevsky or Son in that central role. I mean, we could see some changes, but I'll stick with Lo Celso in the middle, and Sarr and Basuma were pretty good in that last matchup, so I'll say they keep their spot as well. Manchester United, we have Mason Mount out for the next few weeks, so it's assumed Christian Eriksen is going to move back into the starting 11. I actually put Diogo Dalot into the starting 11 over Wan-Bissaka. I think they just need some more attacking here. And they're at home. They're in a favorable matchup. Why not just get your more attacking fullback into the squad? And I think Ten Hag should go Dalot here. Dalot, what minute he go in last match? He came in last match, got 24 minutes. I think Dalot's going to get the start. So if you have him in Fantrax or something like that, keep an eye on it. I think this is a great spot for him, especially if he starts. Eriksen, I actually put in Jadon Sancho above Garnacho. Just hasn't been working for him. So at some point, Ten Hag, has to make some changes. Sancho, another guy, came off the bench last match. I don't know if I want to say gave him a spark, but did a little more, I think, than Garnacho. I'd say to some extent. Our Anthony Martial also came off the bench. I don't think he's going to be starting just yet because he's got to get up that fitness. A guy who's been constantly injured. So we could see some tweaks here by Ten Hag. I do think Eriksen is back in there for Mount. Maybe Garnacho is still in there. Maybe Antony is the guy that moves out, something like that. I don't think Martial is going to be ready to start. We'll see what happens there, but I'm going Sancho in here as the main change, which is just just based off me and Delo, I guess. That this is just my personal thoughts on the situation here with how their first two matches have gone. As for Nottingham Forest, I don't think I have any changes here. They've been the first two matches have been three in the back, Worrell, McKenna, and Bowley. Last match, Ola Aina was out, and I mean Nico Williams was okay. I know he's probably worse defensively than Ola Aina, so maybe if Aina is ready, he'll be back in the starting 11. But they got the win with him there, and Steve Cooper is a guy that kind of likes to run things back. Once they win a match, if they win a match with a certain lineup, he usually doesn't change things up. So that's kind of what I got going on here. Ryan Yates is another guy that could come in the midfield if they want to change things up, but I think they stick with it. Gibbs White, Brendan Johnson, Iwani here. Those guys have been playing well together. And since last season, I think if these guys can stay healthy, I think these guys could continue to produce. Iwani has been really good. Whatever scoring rate he scored a bunch of goals since the last couple months of last season. Everton home against Wolverhampton. Everton have the question. So Calvert-Lewin, I believe so. I'm doing the show on Wednesday morning. He's still, I don't know, as of Tuesday, he was in concussion protocol, but he also fractured his orbital bone, which is, an injury that you don't really want to play on because if you hit in your face, it's not going to be any good. So the thought is that he's not going to start. Probably shouldn't play though. Probably shouldn't play. I'll leave it at that. They also have Iwobi. It seemed like he had a hamstring injury. So if that's the case, he'll probably be out. So Everton has some more questions here. We could see Ashley Young out for their left back. Let me double check what Michaelenko did last match. All right. Well, okay. Michaelenko has been on the bench the last two matches, but he hasn't gone. And I thought he went in for one of those matches. So, yeah, Michaelenko still isn't ready. So I guess it's probably going to be the same back line here with Patterson. Coleman probably not ready either. So instead of Iwobi, so we could see something. I got a 4-4-1-1 in here. Danjuma attacking midfield, Maupay as the forward. They don't really have a ton else they can do given the injuries, given Iwobi, given Harrison, given McNeil all out DCL. So there's not a ton they can do. I mean, we have their Gay, we have Onana, Decore, Garner. I mean, maybe Decore's on that left wing, or maybe they do something else. I don't think they want Gay or they. I guess it could be a 4-3-3. I guess that would be something to watch out for. Maybe for DFS purposes, that would maybe push like James Garner to the right wing, then Juma to the left wing. That could happen, but I don't know if Deitch is going to be want to be that crazy with without a massive bench to help him out. Wolverhampton, I don't think I have too many changes here. We do have Matheus Nunez suspended, so we'll have to plug someone else in. I got Hwang up front. Scoring issues. Hwang got the goal last match. Did he get the goal? He got the goal or he got the assist? Okay. He got the goal when they were, getting beaten in by Brighton a little bit. But they still don't really have that true striker. So I got 4-4-2. Sarabia back in the starting 11. Lamina, Gomez in the middle. Nato, all those guys are still the same. So I got Sarabia in for Nunez, and then Hwang in for, Fabio Silva started last match. I don't think he's going to be a regular starter. So I got Hwang in. I personally like Hwang a little more than Fabio Silva, who just does not seem to have the quality to play in the Premier League. I think he only went like 58 minutes last match, something like that. But Cunha, Hwang up there up front. Brentford, Crystal Palace. I don't think I made any changes for either of these teams. Looking through the lineups, there's no reason to. Crystal Palace coming off pretty solid win. Brentford coming off pretty solid win. No reason to change. Again, Brentford are at home against Crystal Palace, so I think they're going to be in the 4-3-3 again. As we saw last match, or before the match, Thomas Frank said that Johan Visa and Shad could both play in that central role. It seems like those guys will be kind of interchangeable there as the central forward role and on the left wing, whereas Mbomo is going to be kind of exclusively on the right wing there. Otherwise, no changes. Olise is still out. Ben Mee, I'm not sure he's going to be ready to start. So it's Nathan Collins and Pinnock on the back. All right, let me take a water break here, get to the rest of them. Nicholas Jackson minus 135 for his first Chelsea goal. Yeah, why not? Minus 135. I don't like the value on someone who is just, struggling to find the back of the net given some opportunities he's had. But maybe just go single game parlay, Jackson minus 135, and then Chelsea to win. Maybe Chelsea over 1.5 goals or something like that. I'm sure you can get plus, I don't know, plus one something, plus something odds, plus 120 odds maybe on that, something like that. Arsenal home against Fulham. All right. So Thomas Partey got another start right back last match. I think they're eventually going to change that. If I'm being honest, I think they're going to change that. They got lucky with that win at Crystal Palace. Front six here, I don't think there will be any changes. No reason to change. No reason for Trossard to come in, though it's not like their offense has looked great this season. So again, as usual, the question is, let me check how many minutes Zinchenko just played. He just played 1 minute. We'll see. So Tomiyasu got sent off in the last match, so he's not available. They don't have any other left back. I'm not sure what they would actually do, like Ben White playing right back, Partey. I don't know if I don't know. I don't know what they would do without Zinchenko here if he's not ready to start. That would be a question for Mikel Arteta, I guess you could say. So the other option to start in the back line, I guess actually Kiwior. Let me look up Kiwior 1 second. I think he has played at left back before for Arsenal. He also played 1 minute last match. He ended last season playing a little bit of left back. So I guess Kiwior, if Zinchenko is not ready to start, we could see Kiwior start at left back for Arsenal. And then it'd probably be again Saliba, White, Partey. If Zinchenko starts, we could see a situation where Gabriel comes in and then Partey drops to the bench. Something to keep an eye on. I'm getting a question, wouldn't they just play Gabriel? I mean, in that situation, I guess you could look at it like, okay, when Arsenal have the ball, they move to their 3-2-3 whatever formation kind of a thing, where Partey moves in the midfield, and then you're with three center backs. I guess you can take it like that, but Saliba, White, and Gabriel with that, I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly what Arteta wants to do. I actually think that Arteta would rather have Kiwior play that left back role if Zinchenko wasn't in there. I could be wrong, but we'll see what happens. Fulham, so we got Tim Ream suspended. So I got Bassey in there. Our guy Tosin Adebayo has not been playing for unknown reasons. He's been out. I don't think he's actually injured. He may be some guy that wants to transfer somewhere else. I don't know what's going on with that situation, but Bassey figures to start there at center back for Fulham. I got Willian back in the starting 11 for Dakova Reed. I guess he's still on the team. It doesn't sound like he's going over to Saudi Arabia just yet. Came off the bench last week. He's a guy who just adds a little bit of something else that Dakova Reed does not. So I think when healthy, when at 100%, Willian is still the preferred option right there. Did Paulinho start last match? No, he came off the bench last match. I'm getting confused already. It's only game week 3. I think I got Paulinho in for Sasa Lukic though in the defensive midfield. That's about it. I think eventually we could see Vinicius grab a start, but he may be another guy who is looking to transfer somewhere else because he has not been playing. I honestly don't think Raul Jimenez is the answer to their problems without Mitrovic, but I'm not managing Fulham at the moment. I mean, you can see here 58 minutes, 86 minutes, no shots on target, 3 shots. I don't know if Raul Jimenez is ever going to get back to the form he had at Wolverhampton before his injury, unfortunately. But Fulham will try their hardest, I guess. Brighton, I got Joao Pedro back in the starting 11 for Enciso. I think Enciso actually picked up a bit of a knock in that last match, and this might be a situation. We'll find out shortly what De Zerbi wants to do, but it seems like he's going to be mixing the match in some of these younger guys. I really think Evan Ferguson should get a start at some point here, but he's been going with Welbeck, so I'll keep Welbeck in there. But it seems like maybe Enciso, Pedro, that'll kind of depend on who they're playing. I think that, trying to get into De Zerbi's head here, but I think that he went Enciso against Wolverhampton because, on the basis of prior Wolverhampton teams where they sit back a little more and you're going to want to score score goals from outside the box. I know that's not what happened in that match, but Enciso is a guy that is better at taking shots from outside the box and taking shots from outside the box in open play. Whereas from what we've seen from João Pedro, that he likes to do a little more, a lot of give and goes and end up with easy goals in front of box kind of thing. So I think that'll be like maybe a matchup by matchup thing for De Zerbi. We'll see what happens there. In the midfield, Gilmore, I think he played better than Dahoud through the first 2 matches. So I got Gilmore still there. Good old James Milner still in the starting 11. West Ham, I don't think there are any changes here. Well, I guess I don't know when we're going to get an actual update on Paqueta's betting issues going on there, but based off that, I don't think he's going to be in any more transfer rumors. The ones with Man City are no longer happening. So he's going to continue to start until he's basically suspended, that's what happened with Ivan Toney. He was starting every match until he actually got suspended by the Premier League. But James Ward-Prowse in the starting 11 for who is it for? Pablo Fornals. So I don't see any changes. Actually, Aguerd got sent off in the last match. So Agbana is an option to start. They also got Thilo Carrere. They got a couple guys who could start here, but I believe it'll be Agbana. He came off the bench last match, played 21 minutes. So I think it'll be Agbana next to Zuma. Sheffield United. We'll see what happens with them. Again, we've had all these injury questions throughout the couple of matches. Baldock was a surprise absence. Unclear what his status is. McBurney wasn't healthy enough to even make the bench last match. So, I mean, I thought he was going to start, and then it turned out he wasn't even healthy enough. So let's just keep going with Asula Traore. I don't know how much it matters their lineup here, but going forward, Vinicius may turn into a regular here. He's not – I don't think he even had a preseason. If I trying to think back here when he was actually signed. He was signed the week of their first match, and then he wasn't even training with his prior team. So he's not completely healthy. Gustavo Hammer moved right in. He was fit from Coventry City. So he'll be in the midfield, Norwood, Vinicius. There's maybe 3 guys, and then we'll see what happens with Osborne, Baldock kind of situation there. I got Bernardo Silva back in the starting 11 for Manchester City, coming off an illness. I think he should be fine. He's taken the spot of Kovacic, but I believe this is pretty much the same lineup. Man City ran out last match. No reason to really change anything outside of Bernardo Silva. I'm just going to assume that Bernardo Silva is good to go here. Burnley is, one of the questions. We only have 1 match from him, and their 1 match was against Manchester City. Vincent Kompany went to 3 in the back, try to mix things up from what they were doing in preseason, what they did all last season. So I think it's going to be a different matchup. So maybe they go back to a 4-2-3-1 kind of a thing. I think Jordan Bayer will be fine. If not, I think it'll be Ekdal getting the start on the back. As for everything else, it sounds like Josh Brownhill is going to go somewhere else. It sounds like someone else wants to sign him. I forgot what the team was, but Josh Brownhill, arguably one of their best players last season, and now he's gone. I guess that's why they got Sander Berge in the midfield. So Berg and Cullen as defensive midfielders, and whoever else kind of a thing. I mean, look at these guys: Brune Larson, Mdowney, Koleoshu, Foster. I know they've been in rumors to talk about signing a bigger forward. I guess Aaron Ramsey was the answer. I guess. I mean, we'll see. I think this lineup's going to be kind of changing week by week kind of thing. So this one's kind of a shot in dark, I'll say. I also think there's a slight chance. I think it's actually 50-50. Maybe not 50-50, but we'll see what happens with Trafford and Muric. But those guys were swapping starts in the preseason. Muric was their top goalkeeper last season. Then they signed Trafford on loan. So I think that'll be an interesting situation, but maybe Trafford won the job. We haven't really heard anything about that. In terms of Trafford versus Muric, Aston Villa, they actually played a day in qualification for Europa Conference League. So we'll get some ideas about Leon Bailey. I think Leon Bailey's fine. I'm not sure he's actually injured. I know he was down in the box in that match and came off. We'll see if that's anything. If he can't start, maybe we get Tielemans in the lineup, maybe something else, maybe kind of a change of formation. We'll see how that looks. Luca Digne is still on the team. One of the guys that's heavily rumored to Saudi Arabia. So he's still on the team. Diego Carlos finally got minutes last match. I don't think there's going to be too many changes because they can't really make too many changes. Though we'll see what their midweek lineup looks like. Last match of the week, Newcastle home against Liverpool. Joelinton, there's a decent chance I'd say that he doesn't start. If you click into this profile, the quote from Eddie Howe is that he was not moving well. So we'll see once we get another update on that in the coming hours here. We'll see if Joelinton's ready. If not, I assume it's going to be Sean Longstaff in the starting 11. And then did Lewis Hall sign already? I think he did, right? Lewis Hall already signed. I'm getting mixed up here. Yeah, Lewis Hall is on Newcastle. So he'll be an option at left back, but that's not going to happen immediately. I think it's going to be pretty much the same squad here. Maybe they move Anthony Gordon out. Maybe they go Callum Wilson as a striker, put Isak on the wing, something like that. They could do that, given what happened last match. But again, you can't put too much into playing at Manchester City. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's pretty much the same lineup, but maybe Longstaff is in there for Joelinton kind of a thing. Liverpool. I think TAA is fine. I don't think he's actually injured, if I'm being honest again. McAllister is not suspended. I don't think they changed too much up. Maybe Darwin gets a start. Maybe Endo gets a start for someone. I guess if Endo started, it would be a situation where Endo started for Jota and then Gakpo moved into like this false nine kind of role here. Maybe. I'm not sure what exactly Klopp's plans are, but I guess that's an option. So you got Endo, McAllister, and Szoboszlai in the midfield. That is a possibility. But then at that point, you have Jota and Darwin on your bench. So I guess that's one of the questions that will need to be answered this season for Liverpool. But man, my voice is drying up here. There you go. Those are the lineups for game week 3. Tierney back from exile. I don't think Tierney's going to be coming back for Arsenal. I think he's done. I think Tierney is done at Arsenal based off these first 2 matches here. That's all I got, everyone. Thanks for watching this. Rotowire.com/soccer trial. It's a 48-hour trial. You get this cheat sheet, and yeah, you get this cheat sheet, and you're good to go. You get all the stats. You get the cheat sheets. I mean, I should mention you get all this stuff. Let me check this team trends page. This is not the page I wanted. Sorry. Team pages. That's what I want. Team pages here. Very helpful. I use these pretty frequently, but as you can see, they'll just accumulate as game by game. So you got a game team log. You got all the player stats. All this stuff is sortable. Basically everything on RotoWire is sortable. But you also have team lineup trends. And look at this. You can see how positions go as we get into 5-10 matches. You're going to be able to see where each player started and in what match they started. This is extremely helpful as we get going throughout the season. This is also sortable, as you can see. So if you just click it once, you can put all the substitutes on the bottom, all the substitutes at the bottom, kind of a thing. So very helpful. Thank you for watching this. You can find me at Zdroik on Twitter. Follow RotoWire Soccer at RotoWire Soccer. Good luck in whatever fantasy Premier League stuff you do.